Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's a beautiful Friday morning. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, as always. And we get to talk about some really, really interesting stuff. You got the NFL Divisional Playoffs, right? The Divisional Round's coming up today. Well, not today, excuse me, tomorrow and Sunday. Can't wait. A lot of great matchups. We get to talk about the Lions today. A few mock drafts circulating the internet. And I feel a certain kind of way. I know Jeff does as well. So we'll get to that. But before we do, a special round of applause for Fish. Fish... A round of applause.
What are you now?
You know what you get a round of applause for, buddy? For being so reliable. Unlike that fuck walking in behind you. So thank you so much. It's so appreciated. Yep, you see him. It's so appreciated. I just want to say I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I echo that same statement, Fish.
Did you watch the Australian Open last night?
I watched it last night and this morning.
Good for
Some
you.
Good matches going on.
Good for you.
And it was a great day.
All right, well, the jackass is walking in, so you can go ahead and make your way to your booth, and we'll deal with him in a second, okay, buddy? Thank you so much. All right,
Go.
we'll start the show. Leave him alone. Fuck him. Leave him alone. So here's what we're going to start the show with, okay? Here's what we're going to do. Look, it's that time of year where mock drafts get released. Now, Jeff and I will start releasing our mock drafts like we did last year a few weeks from now. But there was one very, very special one that showed up on, I would imagine, most of your timelines, depending on what platforms you use, whether it was Twitter, Instagram, Bumble, I don't freaking know. Beyond the point. Ryan Roberts from the Blev Network released his top 10 mock draft, which had the Detroit Lions at pick number 6, selecting Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Now, the idea that the Detroit Lions would spend the 6th overall pick on a tight end is insulting. It's downright criminal. And whoever, being Ryan Roberts, made this mock draft gets a special go fuck yourself from me personally. And I'm not even asking for an in-depth mock draft. You could have had anybody going there, and I would have loved to have a conversation about it this morning, Ryan. But you know what we're doing now? You know what we're doing? I got to get on the phone and figure out why the fuck you have a tight end being selected number 6 overall. Because last I checked, if you did 5 minutes of fucking research, 5 minutes is all it takes. 5 minutes, go to your phone, beep, 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 boom, and realize that the Lions have missed on 2 tight ends in the last decade, Ebron and Hutchinson, and they recently traded Hutchinson for a 2nd-round pick. Now, dipshit, I want you to open the Google and beep boop bop again one more fucking time and realize this was the 2nd and 4th ranked offense in points and yards per game. And this was a top 5 offense in the NFL. And you know where the defense ranked, Jeff? 30th. 30th. Now think about this. You open the Google and you fucking find out all this information. You know what you do? You say, oh, they got a top 5 offense and the defense was ranked 30th? Huh. They should draft a tight end. Huh. You motherfucker.
He had to have known what he was doing.
I don't believe in that.
No, and listen, Alex,
I don't believe in that.
Alex, you have the graphic?
That's the easy way out.
So
put this shit up on the screen.
He wasn't off the first 5, right? He was doing well. Will Anderson, number 1, Bryce Young, 2, Jalen Carter, 3, for people that are listening. C.J. Stroud goes 4, Miles Murphy, 5. Okay, all right, makes sense. And then you get to 6. Okay. Michael Mayer goes 6th. And then Paris Johnson to the Raiders, Brian Bursey to the Falcons. and then Keely Ringo to the Panthers. It's funny because Will Levis just casually slides past 10, and so does Anthony Richardson, past teams like Atlanta, Carolina, Las Vegas, that probably need a quarterback. So a lot of this doesn't make sense. After 5, it kind of gets a little messy here.
Jeff.
Mr. Ryan Roberts.
Jeff, that's a tight end at 6. Who, you allow this. You at home allow this. People like Ken.
Yeah, this is...
Ken Day says, Mayer's the best tight end in the last few years. Watch his film and you'll see a great receiver and a great blocker. You know who that sounds like, Jeff? TJ Hutchinson.
I know. And for people, and I agree with Joey 100%. He said just some random dude from some random website. Like, these are mock drafts.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you took 3 minutes, Jeff, I'm not asking for a 500-page essay on what the Lions should do in the NFL draft. Right. It just pissed me off.
Right.
If you did 5 minutes worth of research, you would have found that they're a top 5 offense with the 30th ranked defense. You know what that means? They should probably draft defense.
On top of that, they were the top 5 offense with and without TJ Hockenson. So it's not like they needed a tight end.
Do you know what Jared Goff looked like after they traded TJ Hockenson?
He stopped throwing picks.
Threw 1 interception the rest of the season after they traded his ass.
Can I? Okay, and I want to go through this. Okay, so I went through, and this frustrated me so much. I want to go through all the top tight ends in the NFL, just see where they were drafted, because I was curious. And the only 2 top-end tight ends, I guess you can put in that category, that were taken in the first round, TJ Hockenson, which, happy he's gone. You like the assets you got for him. Offense didn't change. The other one would be Kyle Pitts. He was taken 4th. Now, freak of nature, we know what Kyle Pitts is. Kyle Pitts and TJ Hockenson both won the John Mackey Award. So, again, those are the 2 guys. Now, let's go through everybody else, right? So, a lot of people, you like George Kittle, right? George Kittle, great tight end. One of the best tight ends in the league.
Very good tight end.
5th round, he was selected.
Mark
Andrews, I could take consensus.
Not 5th overall?
5th round, not 5th overall. Nope. Sorry, Ryan Roberts. He was taken later than that. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends. Lamar Jackson, his favorite weapon. 3rd round tight end out of Oklahoma. Travis Kelce. Oh, wow. Great Travis Kelce, right? He's amazing. 3rd round tight end. Darren Waller, right? Freak of nature. 6th round drafted in. Mike Gesicki won the John Mackey Award, just like TJ and Kyle Pitts. He's taken in the 2nd round. Pat Freiermuth, right? Pat Freiermuth, 700 yards. He looks pretty good this year. 2nd round tight end. Dallas Goedert, pretty big piece of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts loves him. He's a good target. One of the fastest tight ends. 2nd round tight end. Like, this is the point I'm making here. Like, why Michael Mayer would go 6 to a team that has so much need defensively is beyond me.
Let me put it into perspective for you. You know where Tony Gonzalez, the greatest tight end in NFL history, in my opinion, was taken? 1st round, 13th overall. Not 6th, 13th. And there's a reason. We did this last year with Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
You guys told me he was Ed Reed. If he was Ed Reed, he goes number 1 overall. But he's not. He's not Ed Reed. He just isn't. And Michael Mayer, maybe he's a very good tight end. Maybe he gets 1,200 yards a year his first 5 years. I don't care. It is not worth it for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. The only way this makes sense, if you can throw it up on the screen one more time. Now, this is my theory, because that's all I have to offer this morning. All I have to offer is This mock draft makes no sense, honestly. I can't even justify it. Because the only way I could is if they were sitting at 8, and he's a Falcons fan, and they wanted a quarterback. But he has the Falcons drafting an interior lineman when their offense is hot garbage.
And Will Levis.
This is what frustrates me more than anything. You can have your opinion. I don't mind. I don't mind if you disagree with who I think the Lions should take, what position they are. I don't mind. Alex, I'm a man of the people. I don't mind at all if you disagree with me. I don't. It is not an issue. You guys should know me by now. Having said that, what you're looking at on the screen, it's like you put an octopus in a freaking little container and had him pick players for the teams, like they do for the World Cup and the Super Bowl.
Heck yeah, they do.
It's the stupidest thing ever. It is stupid. It makes no sense. You can't even justify it. Oh, well, their offense would look even better, as they would say in the mock draft. Oh my God, the Lions' offense! Imagine them with the tight end. Hey, you ass. I hate that it even showed up on my feed, but it is necessary to talk about because the Lions would never do this. They just won't. Not under Brad Holmes. He traded away his tight end. He got a second-round pick for it. They look better on offense without him. They got better at running the ball without him. And ding, 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 last I checked, if they have a top 15 defense this year, they're an 11-win team.
Yeah.
With that offense.
And that's with Brock Wright. And Zylstra.
Am I missing something?
No, you're not. No, you're not. And that's why it's so frustrating. It has nothing to do with Michael Mayer and the talents he has. I'm sure he'll be a great pro. But to take him at 6, there's the issue. When there's so much need for defensive talent on this team, and you know how much of a difference it would make if you had playmakers early in the year. I mean, it's just if you watch Lions games, you get it. But if you're somebody that's just making a mock draft and you're just looking at players and you're like, Michael Mayer.
If we're throwing shit out there, draft Jake Moody at 6. Fuck it. I'd rather have the kicker than the tight end at 6.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks.
This was thrown at the wall because you're a fucking idiot.
And it did not stick. Lions fans all over Twitter were freaking out over this mock draft, man. I don't blame him.
I bet he fell down 30 flights of stairs 7 times before he put out that mock draft.
Okay.
That's the only way it makes sense. You have the Raiders who are moving on from their quarterback, passing on C.J. Stroud. Help it make sense to me.
Yeah.
Please. I'm trying so hard not to yell, and I can't help it. So we're going to go to break. Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. Moving on.
We don't say sorry on the show.
That's right, Fish. Damn right we don't. We don't apologize for anybody. I like the attitude. Good job, buddy. Let's take a break. When we get back, we talked about the tight end and why it's stupid.
Right.
But I want to entertain the idea of the Lions drafting a tight end. Not in the first round, but second or third round. Are you looking to grab a tight end this year? Or is it just not a need and we need to get 2 secondary? I don't want to spoil it all. We'll get to it in a second. But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins at Maine Lobster. What are you waiting for? Scan the QR code you see on the screen. Check out where their locations are. They have 2 trucks. Find out where they are and enjoy and treat yourself to a spectacular lunch. Crab, lobster tacos, clam chowder soup, you name it, they've got it. Check them out, cousinsmainelobster.com. We'll be back in just a minute.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. Look, the Lions will never draft a tight end in the first round, so we're just going to move on from that. That's never going to happen. I will never acknowledge another mock draft, I promise you, that has the Lions taking a tight end in the first round. Having said that,
especially, real quick, when Brad Holmes was a part of drafting Tyler Higbee and he was taken in the 4th round, and he's been pretty productive. I don't think that's Brad Holmes' philosophy. He comes under less
the
need.
same thing with the Bijan Robinson stuff.
Yeah.
I just did Bijan. Why? Why? Even if he's excellent. Let me ask you this. What would Tyler Algier do behind this offensive line? The kid from the Falcons.
He's pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
He's
what
pretty
about
good.
Dameon Pierce?
He'd be damn good.
Oh, well, that's a 4th and 6th round pick right there. So miss me with the Beydoun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Defense. I want to talk about the defensive side of the ball. I want to know Jeff Iafrate's 4 priorities in the first 2 rounds. You have 4 picks.
Yeah.
Look, I can't predict the future. I can't tell you they are going to trade back. They're not. They're going to have more picks. I don't know that right now. Okay? I'm going to work with what I have. They have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Jeff Iafrate's 4 priorities, a must-have. What should the Lions address? And I'll give you a bonus. You can use free agency to justify what you do in the draft.
Yeah, I think the linebacker position is something that I'd probably look at free agency. I know Levante David's going to be available. Hopefully you get to bring back guys like Anzalone. But the draft is where you're going to address the defense. I mean, the first 4 picks, I would assume that at least 3 would be defense, right? That first pick, maybe 6, you pick a defensive lineman or a corner if you could trade back and take someone you really like. And then at 18, you sit in a position where you're going to have guys available anyway. I mean, you're going to have corners anyway. So if you want to go defensive lineman and then corner, that's fine. But the overall message is both of those first-round picks should be defensive players. I mean, there's no question. If you watched Lions games last year, you know how important it is. If you could force, like Adam always says, force a punt against Seattle, you're in the playoffs. So defensively is where the need is. I mean, this team had the worst, if not one of the worst, secondaries in the NFL. I mean, we make fun of the Vikings, and the Vikings have a terrible defense because they were a 13-win team. The Lions were up there with them in terms of passing defense. Like, they're bad. But on top of that, as solid as they've been against the run, there's still a lot of work to do up front, too. I love Buggs. I think he's a serviceable player. He showed a lot. But that's probably a position you're going to have to look. That's why De'Aaron Payne gets floated around. So they could really address in free agency either that linebacker position, corner, or defensive lineman. I mean, they could really go either way. I think there's plenty of guys available. But the overall message that I'm hoping Brad Holmes approaches the draft with is, hey, our first 4 picks, at least 3 of them are going to be defensive players. I think the offensive player, if you're going to take a guard, I wouldn't be, if a second-round guard, wouldn't be shy from it. You already have one of the best offensive lines. Put the finishing piece on it and get a guard. Or if you want to take a running back, to your point, maybe in the second round or third round, I have no issue with that. But besides running back or offensive lineman, I don't see a wide receiver being taken. I know
Suck my balls, USA on top again. God, we're killing it in tennis, man. I mean, we just won the United Cup a few weeks ago. We just beat Medvedev.
To everybody watching that's in a public or work setting, please mute the show for the next 5 to 10 seconds.
Okay.
Fish?
We're going to win the Australian Open. Yes, sir.
Shut the fuck up and mute your mic.
Sounds fine with me.
Continue, Jeff.
Thanks. Why does Fish have shades? Where'd you get shades from?
Don't acknowledge him.
Anyway,
don't acknowledge him.
Yeah, no question. They got to go defensively. I think everyone agrees there. I know if it's been floated around. Hey, do they take a quarterback? Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, whatever the case may be. I don't care. There's a window the Lions are in right now where even last year you were a win away from making the playoffs. If the Rams won or you beat Seattle, you would have been in the playoffs. I don't see, taking a quarterback to sit this year. I just don't. I mean, maybe Brad Holmes sees it that way. I'd rather take immediate impact players defensively that can come in and contribute right away. I think that's the route he needs to go. And if you're talking the first 4 picks, Adam, at least 3 of those got to be defensive players. And the offensive player that you pick, running back, guard, whoever, I'm not going to, even a tight end, if you want to take him in the second round, that's fine. But, yeah, you got to pick majority defense. I think everybody mutually agrees with that one.
All right, very cool.
Mainly corner. You got to figure that out. And there's a lot of corners I like in this draft. And you don't have to take them at 6. I think there's guys that are going to be there at 18. We talked before the show, Witherspoon. I mean, you're going to have Joey Porter possibly there. Maybe you trade up and get Joey Porter. Yeah, they're going to have to address that.
Well, look, I do agree with you for the most part. In free agency, I do think you need to bring in a veteran corner. Now, social media is a fantastic thing. Right. Marcus Peters came up. A lot of corners came up yesterday and really the past week. But I do think you need a veteran presence at the corner position.
I would agree.
And I still think in the first round, and I don't even want to say what round, actually. I think with the first 4 picks, I'm looking for an athletic linebacker. I'm looking for an interior lineman. I'm looking for a corner. And you brought up the guard position. I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. I'm not opposed to that. But I'm willing to double dip at the secondary position because of how bad it is. Yeah. And we forget that, look, the NFL, the game of football is so complementary, right? If you have good corners, that means you have more time to get to the quarterback, and vice versa. If you're getting after the quarterback, that means the corners have to cover for a less amount of time, which makes their jobs a lot easier. Fair?
Yeah, fair.
So you got to bring in some really good talent. Now, does it need to be a second corner? No. If they were to double dip, I'd imagine to be on the defensive line. You can never have enough good players on the defensive line. But linebacker, interior, secondary, the three priorities, it's not even negotiable with me.
Yeah, and they need more veterans defensively that know how to win. I think that's important because, like you said, and I agree with you, you need a veteran corner. I mean, as much as there's a lot of corners I like, Witherspoon, Gonzalez, even Forbes out of Mississippi State, but you can't just draft two corners and be like, all right, let's roll. You need some veterans.
Send out two 21-year-olds who are now going to be Sauce Gardner their first year.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I think, that's why I mentioned Levante, right? Super Bowl champ. Veteran in this league. I mean, he knows how to win and hold guys accountable.
That would be interesting at linebacker.
Corner, you could find a Bradbury. I mean, whoever. Marcus Peters. I don't know what's the best option. That's for Brad, but anybody with experience that can call guys out. Because especially at the secondary position.
You need communication.
Yes.
You need communication on defense.
Who's the veteran corner? Mike Hughes? I mean, I guess would be that guy. I mean, but...
Jeff Okudah?
There you go. Jeff Okudah, Jerry Jacobs. I mean... It's too young of a secondary. You need some vets in there, so I'm with you. Guys that have won in this league and know what it takes to win, especially defensively, because that defense, man, up and down, very inconsistent. And veterans, they help change that. That's why I would like to keep Anzalone.
I think we can all agree. After watching this offense do what it did throughout the entire season, and you know what? We did this year one with Dan Campbell. I believe the number was if the offense could only score 20 or more points, they would have won 4 or 5 or 6 more games. I forget the number. I apologize. It was something along those lines. And then year 2 it was, well, if the defense was a top 22 defense, they'd probably win 10, 11 games instead of going 9-8. And I could argue maybe even more wins. Who knows? But that's the point. You got to address it. You addressed the offense. It got better with Ben Johnson. You brought in DJ Chark. He contributed. Swift and Jamal were an interesting dynamic, inconsistent throughout the season. But, hey, you'll take it. The offense was creative, explosive, very nice to watch. Next year, do you expect it to be, I would say the same productivity? We'll see what Jameson Williams adds. We really don't know until we get a full season out of him. But regardless of the point, the defense is the focus. If you can just find two, I'm not asking for 4, 2 quality defensive players, one at the corner position and one at linebacker or on the interior, I think that would make your defense go from 30 to 24 overnight.
Yeah.
Easily. And with a free agent signing here and a veteran presence there and better communication, I think that's when you're going to start to see creeping into the top 20, top 18 defense maybe. Who knows? Aaron Glenn's got a lot to prove. Now, will he go to Arizona? I don't know. We can have that conversation, no problem. But right now, this defense needs to get better. It held this team back this year, along with a lot of blunders early on, but we're going to move past it. I think we all agree you need secondary, linebacker, interior, and I'm not opposed to getting a guard.
And I'm not saying it's the same quality of players, but the New York Jets, for example, you talk about what they did defensively and in free agency as well. That defense last year when they were 4-13, they were 32nd in the league points against. This season they were 4th. Because they had a fantastic draft, right? Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, they made some moves. They already had Quinnen Williams. He took that next step. You need to add some talent defensively, along with veterans, but it can make the difference for you. And I agree. If you have a top 15 defense, maybe that's a little friendly, but around that number, this team should be a 10-win team. I really do believe that. If you have a top 5 offense, along with the defense that's turning the ball over like they were able to do the second half of the year, they'll be fine. That's the one step you'll have already on the Vikings, is the Vikings can't fix what they have with the cap room they're suffering from. They can't just go out and get a brand new defense next year. The Lions have an opportunity. They got assets. They got money. They can make some moves, and they have young players that are getting better. So next year, they could be the most complete team in the NFC North. I really do believe that, if given the right moves, which I think Brad will do.
All right, fair enough. Well, look, let's take a break. When we get back, ESPN, NFL.com released their rookie standings on the defensive side of the ball. Aidan Hutchinson came in second behind only Sauce Gardner. I would like to have the conversation with all of you this morning. Hopefully it's a brief one. Does Aidan deserve Defensive Rookie of the Year? He filled out the stat sheet, as most of you would claim, 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, yada, yada, yada. But I think there's some humble pie. We just need to accept that there was one player that was ultimately better than him. We'll have that conversation coming up next. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 Mr. Beer Machine, full bar. Check it all out. FoldingWarehouse.com.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, as always. All right, look, I want to put this to rest. I think it's over and done with, and we just need to accept it. Now, there was nobody advocating for not only an edge rusher, but this specific edge rusher, I think, more than the two people sitting in front of you on the show, and how impactful he would be year one. I said he would win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but unfortunately, there was one player who we just all have to acknowledge was the best, not only offensive, like complete rookie in football, he was the best corner in football. Sauce Gardner was the best corner in the NFL. The hardest position to play.
Yeah.
He was the best at. Nobody was better. And yeah, he didn't have the interceptions like Aidan or Tariq Woolen. But he was the most impactful, dominant rookie I've seen come out of college at that position. Gosh, and I don't mean to disrespect Jalen Ramsey because he was good with Jacksonville.
Yes, he was.
But I got to go all the way back to Champ Bailey. That's how long it's been since I've seen a guy that good. And maybe I'm discrediting Ramsey. Maybe I am. But at least I'm going to mention him so nobody freaks out, I guess. But Sauce is already a top 2 corner in the NFL, and I can make the case he's not 2. He's had an exceptional year.
Yeah.
I love Aidan. Rooting for him all offseason, going into the year. Never doubted him one bit. He recovered. He was the best defensive player on this team, you could argue. Great. But, man, I look at New York. Jeff, dude's the best corner in the NFL.
I know.
He completely blanketed one side of the field, excuse me. The Lions, go watch the film. They avoided him. They avoided him. They didn't dare throw anywhere near him. And for good reason. For good reason. Him and Patrick Surtain. You know what? I want to bring up Patrick Surtain because he's an all-pro corner too. That's another one in my lifetime. Sauce, who was taken that high, I think Surtain went at 9 or 10, I believe. I'm pretty sure 9. But anyways, these two have come out and really just become the best corners in football from day one. It's unbelievable to me. Yeah. And what they're doing is what you hoped and you prayed Jeff Okudah would be. But he's not even 10% of it. He just isn't.
And the good news is both these guys from Michigan. So there's the positive news. But to your point about Sauce, to be that good this early, be one of the best corners in his rookie year, and to completely shut down one side of the field, and for me, it's consistency. I think that's what kind of separates Sauce and Aidan, because two things. If you're looking at the stat sheet, that's kind of where Aidan, they both put up they had historic rookie seasons. I mean, Sauce, what he did, and then Aidan, they have 3 picks, almost double-digit sacks. I mean, it's unheard of. But let's be honest. Sauce is just so damn good, and he was good since week 1. That's the difference. Aidan, we did shows during the first couple weeks. Aidan has a good game, like against Washington, 3 sacks in the first half, but he'll follow it up with a performance. And a lot of it wasn't completely his fault. I mean, he didn't have a lot of help on that defensive line, but at the same time, he had games where he was inconsistent. I think that's what's going to hurt him.
Because maybe for the first half of the season, I think you're correct by saying that he had no help.
He didn't have a Houston yet.
But from week 9 to week 15, I want to say, was the stat.
Yes.
They were first in total pressures, first in sacks, and first in fewest completion percentage allowed in the NFL.
And you notice that's when Aidan started playing really, really good.
Yes, but James Houston emerged.
There you go.
Bugs, Kaminsky came back. There was a lot of factors into it. They benched Akuda.
Right.
Mike Hughes was the corner. I mean, a lot of factors. And you know what? Even in some of the games, Akuda played well, actually. So, look, it's always a team effort. And you can make the case, you put this guy here, you put him there. That's not the award. Who was the best defensive rookie this year?
Yeah, and on top of that, too, if you want to play devil's advocate, Sauce has one of the best defensive lines. But he's so damn good. Man coverage, like you said, teams avoided him.
What did he give up? 7 catches in man coverage.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
All season.
It's ridiculous. I mean, and that's what people, I think it's misconstrued because they say, well, Aidan has more interceptions than him, right? They look at the numbers. But if you watch the games, teams avoid Sauce. You're not going to continuously throw and give Sauce a chance. It just does not happen. Tariq Woolen, he's a ball hawk, but it took teams a while to be able to say, you know what, we're not going to test him.
He was the highest graded cover corner in the NFL.
They never really tested Sauce at all.
He was the highest graded corner in the NFL. He only allowed 33 receptions on 73 targets, a 45% hit rate. He only allowed 1 touchdown all season long, had 2 interceptions, and 14 pass breakups, which led the NFL.
Right.
Come on. And he primarily lined up where, Jeff? Not on the slot, not in the box. He lined up as a 1 safety against the opponent's best team the opponent's best receiver week after week after week.
Right. And
he, quote, shut them down.
And for people that are saying, well, Hutch was double-teamed a lot. Okay, I get it. For a rookie that didn't have a lot of help.
Hutch is a runaway defensive rookie of the year any other year over the last 10 years.
Yes, but saying he was double-teamed doesn't, move him above Sauce. I can't make that argument to say he's better than Sauce.
Was Aidan an All-Pro?
You said, was Aidan an All-Pro this year? No.
Sauce was. All-Pro. Yeah. Not Pro Bowl. Fuck that. That's the stupidest thing now. Most stupid, I should say. The Pro Bowl is meaningless. All-Pro. The best of the best at every single position. Sauce was the first one voted in.
And by the way,
he was the best in the league. It's, to me, and my love for Aidan Hutchinson, it's undeniable. I picked him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year before the season started. I love the pick, yada, 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 the draft, the cocaine stuff, all that.
I did as well. We both picked him. We both picked him.
This is not an issue here. He is phenomenal. But there's only one player that could have taken that award, and it's the guy in New York, man. I know. I have to be honest.
I know. And there's a lot of things that just factor into it. I get people want to say, well, New York media and all that. Okay, I'll give you that. But Sauce's performance, to your point, you can't discredit that. What he did this year in his rookie year, I think both teams are ecstatic with what they got. Lions are happy with Aidan. He's going to be a fantastic player. But like you said, I think he put it best. In any other year, if there wasn't a Sauce, Aidan would win this award. But Sauce is too damn good. You can't just look at Sauce and discredit his consistency all season. I'm sorry. You just can't. And that's why I would give him the slight edge. But Aidan's in that conversation. It's a two-man race.
This is a really good stat. Sauce Gardner. Do you know how many times he was helped with bracket coverage or safety over the top?
Say once.
Less than 10% of his snaps.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's absurd.
Which means Robert Saleh is telling you, hey, kid, hey, rookie, go guard Stephon Diggs, go guard Devontae Adams.
Right.
And we're not giving you safety help. because we need help at somewhere else. Figure it out. And he did all season long.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the best corner in the NFL.
Right.
And he was better than Ramsey, better than Surtain, who's in what, his third year now? Patrick? No, his second year. He came out with Sewell, correct? Patrick Surtain, I'm pretty sure, came out in the Sewell
I'd
draft.
have to double check.
Or J.C. Horn. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Sorry. One's an all-pro, one isn't.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean he won't be an all-pro, but like you said, he's just Sauce. What he's doing this year is you can't, like, he's having a defensive rookie of the year. I mean, Aidan is as
Aidan
well.
would win the award last year. Well, Michael would have won it last year, regardless. But Aidan, would be a close second this year, last year, and he'd probably win it all the years prior.
I think
better than Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett. They put him up with everybody. Aaron Donald, he was just as good, if not better than all of them.
And I have to check, but Nick Bosa won it with like 8 sacks and a pick.
I want to say 9
and a pick.
Yep.
Aidan had more sacks and more picks than Nick. So it's not like we're discrediting Aidan. It's just the simple fact that he's in a race with Sauce. I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Obviously, we want the defensive rookie to be in Detroit, but I got to acknowledge historic numbers. And Aidan does have historic numbers for a defensive end, but Sauce has been doing this all year. Like you said,
you're right.
As a
historic.
Rookie,
I can give you that, and I can agree and say Aidan was phenomenal.
Yes.
He lived up to the number 2 overall pick year 1. Thank God.
And then some. No
and
question.
then some. And you know why he's not winning the award? Because the guy that was picked to pick after him decided to have an all-pro season, and year 1 is the best corner in the NFL. What do I do with that? Is he not the best corner? Is everybody just lying? I don't think so. He's the best corner in the NFL. And when you match up against the Jets, you avoid wherever he lines up, typically one side. And you know what that means? If you're Robert Saleh in the defense, which is why they were so good this year, well, I can take that extra player and I can compensate anywhere I want. I can double team their best receiver if they don't want to line him up. If they want to line him up on Sauce, well, then I have an extra guy to deal with the rest of the team, and I know Sauce is going to handle their guy. It is such an advantage having a shutdown corner like that. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And again, for Aidan, it doesn't change his future. He's still going to be a fantastic player. I mean, J.J. Watt, he didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't believe. I think he had like 4 sacks. And he still had an amazing Hall of Fame career. So Aidan's going to be fine.
The award is nice and all, but I'm sorry. I'm giving it to the guy who was the best at his position year 1.
It's not going to change what Aidan does in his career. He'll be just fine. Just to know that Aidan's in the race, I think we can all be happy about that. And Trayvon, he's higher than Trayvon. He's higher than Kayvon. He's higher than the other defensive ends taken around him. I mean, Lions fans should all be happy. It's just the simple fact that Sauce is in this draft class, and it's unfortunate. But to me, it's his award to lose. It really was. He was the favorite pretty much all year through the season, and the way it kind of stayed that way, I think it's correct. I think Aidan will be 2, Sauce will be 1, and whoever comes in 3rd, I don't give a damn. I think it's a 2-man race this year, and I think Sauce will win it.
All right, fair enough. Well, look, let's take a break. When we get back, got the divisional round. Tomorrow, Sunday, got some great games. Who are the favorites to get to the championship game in both conferences? Does Dallas have a chance? Jaguars on the upset? We'll break down the games a little later, but I at least want to get a full scope view of what's going to happen this weekend. What's at stake? Legacies. You look at Jalen Hurts looking to prove himself. Patrick Mahomes looking to get back to the big dance again. There's a lot at stake this weekend, so we'll get to that in just a bit. But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They're awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me as always. So what are you waiting for? Get to a local Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Matrix Home Solutions, the best in the business, the most professional, the most organized contractors, you name it. Remodeling your basement, your bathroom, your cabinets, whatever the wife or husband have you doing, there's no better place to call. They get an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. 888-594-8844 or visit them at matrixhomesolutions.com. Make sure you let them know that Adam sent you from Woodward Sports. We are back here on the morning show live, woodwardsports.com as always. All right, Jeff. Some legacies at stake this weekend. All right, you got Dak Prescott, who played the game of his life against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've got Trevor Lawrence coming off a 4 first-half interception performance.
Yeah.
You have Patrick Mahomes looking to get to, his 5th consecutive AFC title game. You're looking at Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills looking to beat the reigning AFC champions and the and the Cincinnati Bengals, excuse me. And that's a big test. So we'll start on the AFC side. Josh Allen and the Bills have been contenders for now 3 seasons. And they've yet to get over the mountaintop, get to the Super Bowl. And, this is one of my favorite things to say. If not now, Jeff, when? For Buffalo, this is not an easy road. Because even if they get past Cincinnati, likely a rematch with Kansas City. And even if somehow, someway the Jaguars win, you're playing a hot team, a hungry team, a young team, with a coach who has experience in what? Winning title games. This is a very difficult path for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Getting past Cincinnati is already difficult enough, but you look at just the AFC side. Mahomes looking to continue his dominance over the AFC. Trevor Lawrence looking to establish a name for himself like Joe Burrow did in his second year. Could he be the second person to ever get to an AFC title game or NFC title game in their second year as a quarterback after being drafted number 1 overall? That's a thing. That's at stake. Are the Bengals legit? Are they going to be able to go on the road to Buffalo and beat the Bills with Josh Allen? And is Josh Allen going to be able to carry that offense more than he has and limit the turnovers? There's so much at stake this weekend, man.
Yeah, a game actually that I think is filled with a lot on the line is San Fran and Dallas because of both their quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, excuse me, even last round, playing as well as he did against the Buccaneers. I think he had 4 total touchdowns. What does Dak do this round, right? The Cowboys, every year you have these expectations. Dak got paid. He's your quarterback of the future. And Jerry Jones came out a couple weeks ago when he was throwing all those interceptions, led the league in interceptions, although he didn't play the whole season, and said, Dak, his characteristic is not turning the ball over. He takes care of the ball. And he followed it up with a great performance against the Buccaneers. But this is where legacies are made. You're going to be facing the 49ers. You have a chance to get to an NFC championship game. This could kind of start changing the narrative on Dak Prescott if he has back-to-back great performances and now a great performance on the road against one of the best, if not the best defense in the NFL. But on the flip side, Brock Purdy, he could be playing for his future job for the 49ers. And I think right now people are already like, hey, Brock Purdy's probably your starting quarterback. We'll see what Trey Lance does. But if Brock Purdy comes out and he struggles against the Cowboys, and let's say if everything finally catches up to him, that conversation, it's like, okay, if Trey Lance was the player that we expect him to be, could he take us farther? But if Brock wins this game and you get to an NFC title game, and we'll see how that plays out, you could make a legitimate argument. You got your quarterback, and you're paying him $900,000 a year. So in this specific game, you got 2 quarterbacks that are fighting for their legacies. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, has an opportunity to solidify his spot in San Francisco. I think he'll be there regardless. But if he goes to an NFC title game with this team, Adam, you have a legitimate case. You could probably just take him and trade Trey Lance.
You know what? I'm glad you brought this up. So Brock Purdy, great story, rookie.
Yes.
Playing very well in that San Francisco offense. Kyle Shanahan deserves a ton of credit. So does Brock Purdy. Having said that, if you're Dallas, think about the implications if you lose and Brock Purdy torches you.
Oh my! A lot of self-reflection.
Yeah, because who's your quarterback that you're paying $38 more million to, probably $39.5 more million to, than what Brock Purdy is currently being paid? And he is what you would call a game manager? We don't know. Brock Purdy's too young. He's a rookie. Yeah. God knows his ceiling. Everybody thought Tom Brady was a game manager in the early days when he was dominating with the Patriots. Remember that? So I don't want to be quick to judge Brock. I'm going to give him all the time in the world. If the Niners believe in him, great. But if you're the Cowboys, hey, Dak, you open that Chase app, you pay you $40 million a year.
Right.
We're 9.5-point dogs. It's the best defense we've ever had. You've got Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, and a decent offensive line. I would say even good.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like, I know we can talk about Dallas, and look, I know I make fun of them, okay? But, one, they deserve to be made fun of, but that's beyond the point. If you're Dallas, say it. If not now, when? Because you're just going to have players going in and out the door now because of the contract you gave to Dak. That's normal. That's acceptable. But what's your Super Bowl window? Because I don't even consider them Super Bowl contenders.
Mm-hmm.
And you're paying, in my opinion, a glorified Kirk Cousins more money to give you the same up and down performances. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now, Dak can shut me the hell up and go out and perform against San Francisco and beat San Francisco. Hell yeah, he can. But I doubt it. San Francisco have too much. And you know what? I was wrong about Mike McCarthy. I gave him a lot of grief. I think he's done an excellent job in Dallas, given, some of the pieces they have, the injuries they've faced and suffered. I got to give him credit. He's done a good job, too, in Dallas. But where is your Super Bowl window in Dallas? Because I don't see it. Even with all the talent. You have the edge rusher. You have a good corner. You have the wide receiver. You have the quarterback.
Got the run game.
You have the run game. You had the offensive line. So what is their window? I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate Dallas going into San Francisco. I think 9.5 points is fair. I think the Niners win by more than that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't think they're 9.5-point dogs. I think they're 3.5-point dogs, actually.
It's closer.
It's actually way closer. I remember because I did the pick yesterday for our social media team.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is with the Cowboys, but this is the most interesting matchup to me because, again, it's kind of that argument for Brock is like, when does that moment happen? When does, all this great play finally catch up to him, and he hits a little bit of a rookie wall. Like, he's been playing excellent in every single start. He's made minimal mistakes, and maybe to the point about him kind of starting over Trey Lance, maybe that's what Kyle Shanahan prefers. Like, just a guy who can make plays, get the ball to playmakers, accurate, and you don't have to worry about guys that are super athletic like a Trey Lance that can run around the field and extend plays. Maybe you just need someone to get the ball out, like Jimmy G. And Brock Purdy fits that mold, and you're paying him significantly less. I think he's making like $900,000 this year.
Yep.
Brock Purdy, and that's a great point you brought up. If Dak loses to Brock Purdy making $800,000, and you go back to early in the year, not saying Cooper Rush is better, but they were undefeated with Cooper Rush. Like, think about that for a second as well. So Dak's got a lot on his shoulders, and I love what you brought up about Trevor Lawrence, because that's a legitimate, like, he has a legitimate shot to kind of get into that Joe Burrow mold. Your second season, you get to a possible AFC title game, and you're playing against a Buffalo or the Bengals. Like, and you beat Patrick Mahomes, that would be huge for his legacy. But I think the most important game in terms of legacy comes down to Dallas versus 49ers.
Really?
Because of both those quarterbacks. I'm telling you. If Brock can
Is it legacy, though? To me, that's just the Cowboys are what they are. I don't think they're better than the Niners. I think Purdy's going to go on a magical run, and they're going to get to the NFC title game. To me, the legacy game is Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Because I already know Mahomes is great. 4 consecutive, I want to say, AFC title appearances. They'll probably get to a 5th when they beat Jacksonville. Likely. Who knows? But Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, one of them is going home.
Right.
That is the one guarantee I can tell you this weekend. One of them is going home, and it's going to be a massive disappointment. And both have won a playoff game this year. But one of them is going to be so extremely disappointed. Why? One's the defending, reigning AFC champion, and they won't be able to represent or defend their title. Excuse me? And the other is Josh Allen losing in the divisional round with the Buffalo Bills, again, coming up short of their goal, their ambition. When are the Bills going to get it done? I don't know. You were supposed to have an easy wildcard game against the Dolphins. You played that one close, 4-point game.
Same with the Bengals,
almost lost
too.
it.
They played the Ravens with Tyler Huntley pretty close.
It's an epic weekend for sports, man. It really is.
That's definitely the best game of the weekend.
Best game, 100%.
No question, Bills and Bengals.
So let me ask you this. You're doing a show in Dallas. Dallas loses by 14 points. Dak Prescott throws 2-3 interceptions.
Oh, God, I wouldn't want to be in Dallas. That if you're a fan of
well,
Dallas
you're
Cowboys.
working there, let's say. What's the conversation, man? What do you do with Dak Prescott? You paid him.
Right.
There's no way out of that. You paid him. And you paid him, and everybody said Dak deserves the money. He deserves it. Great guy. He's the third-round pick. You got to compensate him. Okay, this is what happens when you pay your quarterback. And if you want to pay Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, even Justin Herbert to an extent, even though he still has a lot to prove.
Right.
I don't mind that, because I do believe they have the qualities to overcome the deficiencies around them. Does Dak? Last I checked, he has a losing record when they don't run for 100 yards.
Yeah.
And again, you can use that stat maybe on any of these quarterbacks, but the point is, when things aren't perfect for you, what do you give me? Was it perfect for the Jaguars in that first wildcard game?
No.
Was Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions perfect? No, the hell it wasn't. And you can laugh at the Chargers and that they collapsed and they didn't run the ball enough, whatever. I don't care. They figured it out, and they went and won the football game.
Mm-hmm.
That matters. Why? Who quarterbacked them back? Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and then you can make the case too, if you're in Dallas talking about the Cowboys, that what does the Super Bowl window look like here? I mean, you have Dak that's making an unbelievable amount of money. You have Tony Pollard coming up. You have CeeDee Lamb you're going to have to pay. Michael Parsons you're going to have to pay. Guys are going to come up that you're going to have to dish money out to. And to your point, if it's not perfect for Dak, he struggles. And that's going to be the question if they lose to the 49ers is what more does Dak need? Is he the quarterback that can take the Cowboys to a Super Bowl? You don't want Dak to get Romo'd and they draft a quarterback and he ends up getting replaced like he did for Romo. Who knows? But Dallas, that radio, man, if they lose to the 49ers, Dak's going to take the end of it, especially if he throws interceptions. Because that's not just this game. He's been doing that all year.
All year. He's been awful.
Yes.
Well, there's one game we haven't talked about yet. Your Philadelphia Eagles, your pick from preseason to go all the way in the NFC.
Yeah.
My God, you were right. My God, you were right.
A little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you.
Not even an Eagles fan.
Confidence level against the Giants, divisional foe. You've played them twice this year.
Yes.
You beat the bricks off of them on one of the occasions. The last game of the year, you were resting players. I think they still beat them, so it wasn't even an issue. But, man, the Giants, well-coached, disciplined. They don't make stupid penalties. They don't make stupid mistakes. They run the ball very well.
Yep.
They'll keep Jalen Hurts off the field. Daniel Jones doesn't turn it over. I'm not saying the Eagles will or should lose this game. But God, playing a team and beating them for a third time in a single season is always difficult. We all know this.
Especially for teams coming off a bye. Like, that stat people don't really look at. Like, teams that come off byes, unless you're, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, the guys that have a ton of experience, it's tough. Like, Jalen Hurts just last season got obliterated by the Bucs in his first playoff game. And now they have a bye week, and now we're just going to expect, well, I picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, to get in the NFC title game. I think the 49ers will go to the Super Bowl. I switched up last minute, but the reason why is because will the inexperience from a coaching perspective, like Nick Sirianni, and an inexperience from your quarterback perspective and Jalen Hurts hurt them? And I think it could. Like, coming off a bye week, the Giants are red hot right now. They have playmakers on both sides. I mean, their wide receivers aren't the greatest, and that's probably a good matchup for Philly with the corners they have. But still, like you said, Daniel Jones can run the ball. They have Saquon. Like, I think that game will be a lot closer than people think. I could see Philly squeaking out with a win, but Jalen Hurts, the last time we saw him was the end of the regular season. To your point, he struggled, and that was coming off an absence missing because of his shoulder. So we haven't seen Jalen Hurts. It's been quite some time for when we've seen Jalen play at a high level. Hopefully he does that, but if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm nervous. I really am. The Giants are one of those teams, man. They're just hot. They're coming off a big win against the Vikings. That's a dangerous game. I would stay away from that game if I'm betting. I really would.
All right, fair enough. Well, look, here's what we're going to do. Top of the hour coming up. How far away are the Detroit Lions from contending in the NFC? And I think it's sooner than you would think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all of you agree. But I think it's sooner than you even imagine. We'll do that coming up in just a bit. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Let me tell you about them, guys. And we're going to do another day of winning a VIP experience. And you guys, anybody that can win, if you type Cintron in the chat, you can win access to a private Red Wings practice Wednesday, January 25th, 11 to 1 p.m. All you got to do, again, is type the word Cintron in the chat right now, and we'll select a winner by the end of the show. Make sure you keep watching to find out who's today's VIP winner is. All brought to you by our wonderful friends at Cintron. Good luck.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, let me tell you about my friends over at the Monroe Street Midway, brought to you by, of course, Bedrock Detroit. Puck Putt. Outdoor events, they do it all down there. It's such a great time. What are you waiting for? Don't miss out on the opportunity. Shop, eat, and play. Drinks before and after the games. Take fish if you want. I'm not going to. I refuse to. But you can even take fish. Wow. But look, it's top of the hour.
Nice.
All right? Top of the hour almost. Coming up in just a minute. How far away are the Detroit Lions? And I want all of you to answer in the chat. I just want a number. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Maybe they're contenders next year. You tell me. In the 2023 season, do you expect the Lions to be contenders in the NFC? And when we talk about contenders, my expectation is that you are one of the better teams in the NFC. You are likely a division winner. You at least win a playoff game. And you have a real chance of getting to an NFC title game. That's my definition of a contender. So, Jeff, let me ask you, how far away are they?
Not far at all, especially in the NFL. We've seen teams go worst to first. Now, the Lions got some things they got to do, some finishing touches, especially defensively, that they got to do, and they'll address that this offseason. I think if next season goes according to plan and they make the playoffs, I believe when you're a contender is when you're in the tournament. I mean, there's certain teams like the Giants, were they a contender? No, but look at, they're a game away from an NFC title game. So I'm sick of the, separating contenders from teams that just make the playoffs. I think teams that all make the playoffs are technically contenders, and you could go on a run. So if next year goes as planned, Adam, and they either win the division or they get in as a wild card team, I think that would be fair enough to call them a contender. Now, we'll see what they do in the playoffs. But let's say they make the playoffs next year as a wild card team. They win a playoff game, but then they lose the round after. I think that next season is when they're contenders, because we've seen the progress. You have a playoff team. You have the DNA of a playoff team. But it's about taking that next step every year. This year you didn't make the playoffs. You fell just short. You had a winning record.
I'm not asking for progression, though.
Next year,
I'm talking where you're having a conversation
about
with
winning
me
a Super Bowl
in January next year.
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years, where you're having a conversation and saying, Adam, I can see this team coming out of the NFC. Even if they come up short and they lose in the divisional round or the NFC title
Then it would
game.
be next year.
Do you think it's next year?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'm going to give a different reason why I do think it's next year. I agree. And I'll tell you why. Yes, they have a lot of holes to fill on defense. Yes, there's still a lot of things that are unproven with this football team. Yes, everybody, you are correct. But the landscape of the NFC is at an all-time low. I like your quarterback, meaning Jared Goff, more than every quarterback currently in the NFC outside of who? Jalen Hurts? Give me the quarterbacks that you like more. I like Goff more than Murray. Goff more than Stafford with that Rams team if he's going to come back. I like Goff more than every single quarterback. We'll start there. Outside of Jalen Hurts. Honestly, Jeff, that's it.
Yeah.
It's only Jalen Hurts.
I'll give you the top teams. I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy.
Who I can't acknowledge him yet.
Yes.
I can't. And I don't think it's fair for me to put him in or out.
Oh,
so I'm just going to put a null. I'm just going to put a void on it. I'm not going to address it until we see how the season plays out for the Niners and how he plays if he's a starter next year. I don't know. So
I'll go the next. I'm going top to bottom. Vikings. Okay. They're third. I think we could agree that Jared Goff.
I like Goff more than Cousins. Just name the teams.
And Tom Brady's gone. So Bucks are gone. Dak, I think
Goff's better than Dak.
Yes. And then Daniel Jones. That's
better
clear.
than Daniel.
Geno Smith, who's going to sign a $30 million contract. And then you get to Sam Howell.
So we agree. That's it. You have one of the two at worst, three best quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yes.
So you're already there. Okay, now let's talk about rosters. What did we talk about 2-3 weeks ago? The Lions roster is here to what, Jeff?
Stay.
It's young.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere. The Niners are here to stay. So are the Eagles. And I would argue only the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles next season have a more complete, young, and I would say formidable roster going into next season. I have questions about Dallas. The Giants could be building something special with Dable, but they got a lot of work to do still. He's just compensating for, with all of his coaching ability. But that doesn't mean they still don't need a quarterback, and they still don't need wide receivers, and they still don't need one more lineman to help Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. And that they don't need another linebacker. They still need a lot of pieces in New York. You name me a better roster going into next year, assuming that Brad Holmes hits another 2-3 players like he always does in the draft, disregarding free agency. Only the Eagles and the Niners would have a better roster than you next year.
Yeah.
In the lowly NFC. I don't think the Seahawks contend. And again, my definition of contenders. Do you have the quarterback? Check. Do you have the roster? Check. Do you have the head coach? To be determined. But boy, the last 10 weeks of the season,
Positive.
I have to say, very positive. Okay, do you have the defense?
It's trending.
To be determined.
Yeah, it's trending that
But
way.
Brad Holmes, I trust to fix it. And you saw in stretches what they could do, even if they were young. And they're all coming back better, hopefully stronger, smarter. I think there's a lot to look forward to with this Detroit Lions team. And I think a big part of it, Jeff, is because of the NFC landscape. If they were in the AFC, you know what I'd be saying about the Lions going into next year? Lucky to win 10 games. Lucky to win 10 games.
Yeah, that's where we agree. And that's why the word contender, I know when people hear that in Detroit, you're like,
whoa,
Super
slow
Bowl
down.
contender.
But no, in the NFC, you are a contender because you know what? You know what the Dallas Cowboys are right now? They're contenders.
They are.
They're contenders. Teams that compete for the division. They won the division last year. They won a playoff game. They're in the divisional round. 3.5-point dogs to the Niners. You'll take it. There's some optimism here. But if I swapped the Lions with the Giants and the Cowboys, do I expect them to beat Philly and the Niners in this year? No, I don't. But the point I'm making is, you swap the Giants and the Lions, they're basically the same team.
Yeah.
Except Dable's doing more with less. God bless Brad Holmes, he's brought a lot of talent here. But come on, let's be real here.
And I'm on the camp of I don't think it's fair to look at the Giants and say, well, they're overachieving, so they're not contenders. No, they're contenders.
They're contenders because of their coach right now.
They're a game away from the NFC title game. Like they're contenders. Like whatever you thought about them early in the season, Lions beat them, but this is why I say just get in the tournament. If the Lions can get in the playoffs. I don't
believe in that. I think you have to prove it. I'm a big division guy. I believe in that.
Okay, if they win the division, you have a bye week, they're contenders. I agree.
Not the bye week. I don't mind playing in the wild card. But when you win the division, you know what that tells me, Jeff? More than anything. For 17 weeks, you were the most consistent team in your division. You were the best team in your division, which means you're one of the 4, technically, best teams in the NFC now.
Yeah.
You look at the Buccaneers, that was unfortunate. 8-9 got in, whatever, moving on. But if you want to, let's say you go 11-6 and win the division next year, I respect you. Not a 10-7 wild card team. How many wild card teams get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it? It's very few. Go win your division. Host a game at Ford Field. Let's start taking the right steps forward. Let's all start believing in this. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to be a contender for me, it starts with your division. Because if you can prove you're consistent for a 17-game stretch, I can take you seriously. I can pick you to win a wild card game. I can pick you to contend in the divisional round. And dare I say, get to a title game. And you don't even have to win the NFC title game. But the idea of you getting there shows me that you are serious. You're legit, just like we think of the Bills, now the Bengals, the Chiefs. That's how we look at these teams.
Right.
You want to look at your Lions the way you look at them, the way you look at the Niners now, the way you look at the Eagles now. And I think they're catching up in terms of talent on the roster. Does it need time? Sure. But because of how bad the NFC is, I do believe next year it's an open field for you.
I think context does matter too, because let's say the Vikings win the division with 11 wins and you have 10 wins, or they win it with 12 and you have 11. I still believe if I'm looking at a team that won 11 games, and depending on how the context of the season goes, like this season, look at the teams in the NFC. And this is the most unbelievable thing to me. Looking at this, and I looked at this the other day, there's only a handful of teams in the NFC that had a positive point differential.
And the Lions were one of them. I believe one of the 4.
Think
correct?
about this. The 49ers, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and then the Lions. Think about that.
Yep.
And this is a team where you're a season where you're 9-8.
And this doesn't all have to happen in a year vacuum. I think that's what people are misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys last year won their division. That's why you take them seriously. The Giants, I don't think they're contenders, but they're in a position.
Yeah, I would technically.
I mean, you can say that. I wouldn't go that far. But the point, I don't hate it. But to me, they're still far away. And when I evaluate contenders, I told you already, do I trust the quarterback? Right now, you've got the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
You're not changing my mind on that. Stafford next year with the Rams, good luck. Kyler Murray coming off an ACL, good luck. Geno Smith, good luck. A lot of problems, man. Brock Purdy, again, to be determined. I'm not gonna judge him right now. I'm just not. I would love to see him start a full season and see what he could develop into. Yeah. We all label Tom Brady, and not we, but I was a kid back then. But media labeled Tom Brady as a game manager. Ended up being the greatest quarterback of all time. So it's too early. I'm not going to put any limitations on Brock Purdy's career. I just can't acknowledge it because it's so early. So moving on, let's go to the next division. Tom Brady's gone. The Falcons don't have a quarterback. The Saints don't have a quarterback. The Panthers don't have a quarterback. The Vikings have Kirk Cousins. Rodgers might retire. It'll fuck the Packers. If he stays, it'll fuck the Packers. Mm-hmm. The Bears, they have a running back playing quarterback. You go to the next division, you go to the NFC East. Goff better than Dak. Jalen Hurts better than Goff. Daniel Jones, Goff is better than. And there's one more. God, Adam, what are you doing? The Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz, Goff is better than him. It's because of the state of the NFC that you even have this conversation, or at least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I think the reality is the NFC is at an all-time low, and you have a chance to capitalize on it next year.
Just get in the tournament. That's all they got to do. And they could do that, and I believe they will.
And the Vikings aren't going 11-0 in one-possession games next year.
No, they aren't.
They're lucky to be 500 next year in one-possession games. So that'll balance out next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this isn't crazy talk. I laugh at you guys 2 years ago when Dan Campbell first took the job and he told me 10 wins. I did. I was an ass to you. We can be friends now and move on. Okay? But going into year 3, with the talent they've added, with the picks they will add in the upcoming draft, with who knows what they do in free agency. I'd love to see some veterans come in. You're looking at I would say you're looking at the third or fourth best team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And I already told you have the second best quarterback. And that's not me. That's just what the stats say. And let's be honest. Forget the stats. Don't look at the stats. Who played better than Goff this year in the NFC outside of Jalen Hurts? Nobody. Maybe you could argue Kirk Cousins, because he had a hell of a year.
But he
Gotta be fair.
He had a ton of interceptions too. And he had games where he completely.
I understand. But so did Goff. So did Goff to an extent.
But Goff, at least the second half of the season, didn't throw a single one.
I know. I'm
Kirk
trying to be fair
all
to
year
Kirk, because he did have a good season.
With that offense too, it's unbelievable.
Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook.
But to your point though about, because the question is, how far are they from being contenders? I'm going to say next season, because I think people, when they hear that term, they're like, contenders? This team isn't a Super Bowl team. Technically, if you get in the tournament, I classify all those teams as contenders. Technically, they are. The Giants, I know the roster, and you want to get into the details. Do you trust Daniel Jones? I get all of that, but the reality is they're a game away from a title game. So, I mean, are they contenders? I would say yes, they are. Before the season, were they? No. But things change. I think the Lions, if they fix a couple pieces, especially defensively, they add some more talent, they're going to be contenders next season. Now, when they win the Super Bowl, we ain't talking that, but they're at least contenders. They have a chance to win the NFC. I do believe that, because we just made the point. Bright future for the Lions. First time we can say that in a while.
And again, if you want to throw out names like, again, I'm not going to address Brock Purdy. I think it's too early. But you want to throw Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith. You're not phasing me with that. You're just not. Goff is a better quarterback, especially with Ben Johnson returning next year.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much confidence in this team. So if you improve the defense, by virtue, by default, they will be better. And because how weak the NFC is, and it is, because 3 of the 4 final teams remaining are from what division, Jeff? The NFC East. There's a reason for that. Why? Because the North winner and the South winner were garbage and were frauds. Okay. It's in front of you, Detroit. It just is.
Right.
I'm not trying to put unrealistic expectations on you. I'm not. But what I am trying to communicate, what I'm trying to get across, is you're not that far away. It actually can happen next year. With a snap of a finger. Good coaching, continued good play from the quarterback and the offense, limited turnovers, you improve the defense, and all that comes from Brad Holmes. If Brad Holmes can hit on 2 players in the draft on defense and acquire a veteran free agent on defense, this will be a top 18, hopefully, defense with Aaron Glenn if he returns, and the rest is history. I think the rest plays itself out. Let's take a break. Whew. That was a lot. God.
It's fun having these conversations, isn't it? When last season we're talking about who should we draft at 2, and coming off 3 wins.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm glad this is the progression they took. At 1-6, it wasn't looking good, but boy, 8-2 down the stretch, they looked like a damn good football team.
We kept bringing up Jim Schwartz. 2 wins to 6 wins.
Just show me the progression, and I will buy in.
Yeah.
But you can't show me dumb fuck at 1-6. That's it. That's all I ask. And this season, don't come out the gate 1-4. Please. Dear God, don't dig yourself a hole. It's not ideal to have to win 8 of your last 10 games to have a chance to make the playoffs. Please. Moving on. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. We'll get to the NFC Divisional Round at 9:30. 9:40, we'll get to the AFC Divisional Round, and then we'll do our picks along with Mailbag at 9:50, and then Jeff will announce the winners from the Cintron giveaway.
Yep.
But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, let Guardian Alarm help you, because their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them any day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as you need. It's also technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for more information.
Go Grease!
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. They have made a life-changing alteration to Ryan Ermanni's life, and please let them help change yours. Confidence, fitting in the clothes you want to wear, so many little things that matter that Dr. Jason and his team provide over at Custom Health Centers. Don't wait. Give them a call, 844-789-8446. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com as always. Okay. Jeff, I'm going to let you lead this one. I know you wanted to have this conversation, so I'll let you introduce it, and I'll follow up.
Okay.
YOLO, you want to go?
Oh, I thought you were going to lay it out. Okay, let me lay it out. Let me lay it out for the people. So this conversation.
My bad.
No, it's all good. I've seen this floated around a lot, and I've had conversations with, we have our guy in the back, Ryan, who's one of my good friends here at the network, and we go back and forth a lot. We argue a lot, even off the air, just in the back. And one of his favorite players in this draft to watch is, as many of you know, Anthony Richardson. And he's one of those hot commodities because I think people look at the physical tools he has, the size, the speed, the arm strength. And I got to give our boss Chad credit on this because he said this like a month ago in the chat. He said the Lions will draft Anthony Richardson. He wholeheartedly believed that. And now I'm seeing these conversations more and more about Richardson. It seems like he's floating up higher in the draft. Now, the question I have for you, because I want your opinion on this, because we haven't really talked about it too much, is your thoughts, A, on Richardson, and B, should the Lions pursue him? Because I think the biggest argument people have is, well, you have Goff currently. You can sit Anthony Richardson behind Goff. He can learn from the system, right? He has Ben Johnson for the time being until he's gone. You can sit behind Jared Goff, learn from Goff, and when it's time, Anthony Richardson could be your starting quarterback on a rookie contract. Now, the problem I have, and this is where I kind of shy away from the quarterback talk because I'm a big Bryce Young guy. But at the same time, the Lions now, you're 9-8. There's a window the Lions have right now. If we're talking about them being contenders, you got to add immediate impact players. And that's kind of where I shy away from the quarterback conversation. Like, I would rather have two really, really good, impactful defensive players drafted in the first round over taking a quarterback who you're not even going to know how good he is for another 2 years. And if in 2 years he does stink, you're in a tight situation, a bad situation, and you wasted a pick on somebody when you could have had a Joey Porter. You could have had a defensive tackle. You could have had a linebacker. So there's where I shy away from it, but I think the conversation is interesting, and I can see the rookie quarterback sitting behind Goff on a cheap contract. He can learn and develop. I love the upside of Anthony Richardson, but let's be honest, Adam, I'm having no part in the draft a quarterback or obviously a tight end, which we had earlier conversation. We agree, but I want your thoughts on Anthony Richardson because I hear Mel Kiper and talk about him. And listen, I love Mel. Mel is so wrong every year, but I still love listening to his opinion. I mean, he said Will Levis was the best player he could argue in this draft. Anthony Richardson, I keep seeing floating around, but I want your thoughts on it. Lions taking him. I mean, I don't think he'll be there at 18. I think he's going to be one of those players that kind of they heat up. He has a pro day.
Ask you guys
Teams
this.
are going to fall in love with him, but the Lions stay away from Anthony Richardson. Build that defense. Please don't do it.
Let me ask you guys this.
That's all I'm asking.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. I don't like it, but I do at the same time. The idea of drafting a quarterback and sitting him for a year behind Jared Goff is very appealing to me. I love the idea. I'm saving $25 million in a few years. I really like that idea. But what did we just talk about? Who's the second or third best quarterback in the entire NFC right now? It's Jared Goff. Not Dak Prescott. Not Carson Wentz. Not Kirk Cousins. Not Aaron Rodgers. Not Tom Brady. It's Jared Goff. If you had a top 20 defense, hell, a top 15 defense, you would have been in the playoffs right now. If you're going to take a quarterback, I don't think it's at 18. And if you think it's Anthony Richardson or Will Levis or CJ Stroud, be my guest, just take them at 6. I actually don't mind. I'm in the camp of drafting the guy to sit. Having said that, Anthony Richardson as a player, I will break it down for you. Much more arm talent than Malik Willis had last year. And I'm just using him as an example because he was all of your favorites last year.
Played in the SEC.
He played in the SEC at Florida.
He's bigger.
Dynamic ability running the ball, yes, but he's got a cannon of an arm. And down the field, he's pretty damn accurate. Now, throwing the checkdowns, the short routes, a lot of what this offense is, he struggles with. The 10 intermediate comeback, 15-yard comeback routes, the 15 digs, the 10 digs, it's not the most consistent. But like Josh Allen, that can be developed. I'm a big believer that accuracy can be developed through proper foot mechanics and proper coaching and teaching. I do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So as a prospect, I don't mind Anthony Richardson. I don't hate it. But it would really break my heart if you're not able to walk out of the first round with a very good corner and another defensive player, whether it's on the interior, hell, the edge, or at linebacker.
And that's
it's the risk reward, right? If I take the quarterback, I then can't say we are X amount better. But then again, who knows what happens in free agency? They might fix all the problems before they get to the draft. Now, do they have the money to do that? Not realistically. And if you're going to pay a quarterback $7.5 million at pick 6 to sit a whole year, again, you got to prove something. And I don't think Jalen Carter is going to be there at 6. You want to take Brian Burries or whoever the hell you guys want. You can all have that conversation. We'll do that later. But if you're going to pitch me on Anthony Richardson, or any quarterback for that matter, it's got to be at pick 6, not at 18.
Yeah.
Or you're going to move up from 18, and you're going to move up to 12 or 13 and take him before somebody else does. Because I'll tell you right now, there's about 7 teams in the NFL that pick in the top 15 that need a quarterback. Pretty sure if somebody wants him, they're getting him. And that's before you pick at 18. You guys tell me. I like Richardson. I think he's intriguing, but he is a prospect. He doesn't come in and start day one. And you know, out of all the quarterbacks coming out, except Bryce Young, I'll give Bryce Young this credit. Will Levis, probably the most ready. He's played for two coordinators with NFL offenses and NFL playbooks and NFL lingo. He's already done that. And I know he looked like shit at Kentucky, but I'm just trying to explain why teams are so enamored by him. Excuse me. He's got the strength. He's got the physique. He's got the footwork. He's got all of it. He's got the arm talent. He's played for NFL coaches. He's played in NFL offensive systems. He understands it. Anthony Richardson could be Trey Lance, could be Jordan Love. Will Levis could be Josh Allen. Anthony Richardson could be the next Josh. I don't know. Nobody knows. If you're going to take him, though, just take him at 6 and relieve me of the stress and the pain.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Again, I was on board before the season with drafting a quarterback. I'm still on board, even with Goff playing this well. Why? Financially, it makes sense. And yes, if it doesn't work out, I could draft 4 quarterbacks in the top 6 for the next 4 years, and it would equal 1 year of paying Jared Goff. Annually. Not total, but annually. Think about that. What it would cost me on the books annually if I drafted a top 6 quarterback for the next 4 seasons is what it cost me to have Jared Goff on the roster right now.
Yeah.
And I love Goff right now. Playing phenomenal. Second, third best quarterback in the NFC. Optimistic future. But Brad Holmes alluded to this. He loves the idea of sitting a guy, letting them learn, and then putting them out there. Cool. This is the year to do it, because next year you're probably going to win your division and you're going to be picking in the 20s, and that's likely not going to happen, where the quarterback you want is either A, going to fall for you, or B, you're going to have to give up so much to trade up for him.
Yep.
This is the year. You got a first round pick at 18, you've got 2 second round picks, you got a third round pick. You can afford to take a quarterback at 6, and at 6 I don't really love the pick right now. I don't like anybody that's available at 6. It's either Jalen Carter or, man, trade back 3, 4, 5 spots and go grab a corner and then figure out what you want to do later. But if you're going to take a quarterback, it's got to be at 6, Jeff.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm making. It has nothing to do with Richardson and the upside. I agree with everything you said, too, about sitting a quarterback. All that makes complete sense. But what you look at what the 49ers did with Trey Lance, they were in a similar position. They stunk. They had a ton of injuries. They capitalized. They traded up and got Trey Lance. So, again, I agree with you, because moving forward, you don't expect to be picking. You won't have the Rams pick anymore. You'll probably be picking closer to 20. So it's probably the year if you're going to take one. But I would argue the 49ers, when they took Trey Lance, they had a much, much more complete roster than the Lions do right now. And that's the benefit of having good players. The 49ers had a majority of their core at that time anyway, so they could take a chance on a Trey Lance. The Lions, they have a lot of holes still defensively, and that's kind of where I shy away from taking a gamble on a quarterback.
Let me stop you. We'll continue the conversation. Let's go to break. When we come back, continue your point. Let's continue the conversation. Then at 9:40, we'll give our predictions for the NFL Divisional Rounds. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Let me tell you about them. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. You can try the classic meatloaf or Cajun chicken Alfredo, but you can get breakfast as well. The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack Santa Fe Garden or Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Let me tell you about our friends at Chili Peppers Tanning, because they have all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
Chili Peppers Tan.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com, continuing the conversation about the quarterback position. It's not my priority. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not. Defense, defense, defense. Having said that, I wouldn't flip my table if Will Levis or C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson were called by Roger Goodell in the first round. Why? Because I understand it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't. It's my right. But if you want to look at the history of drafting a quarterback, there is no science for it. Wasn't Brock Purdy Mr. Irrelevant? And we don't even know how his career is going to work out. Look at Zach Wilson, bum. Jamarcus Russell, bum. Marcus Mariota, bum. Jameis Winston, bum. Joe Burrow, hit. Trevor Lawrence, hit. Justin Herbert, hit. Tua Tagovailoa, okay.
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen bust. Patrick Mahomes hit. Deshaun Watson a hit. Josh Allen a hit.
Darnold and Baker.
Tom Brady 6th round pick. Dak Prescott 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts 2nd round pick. Drew Brees 2nd round pick. Like, there is no science to this. But why you draft quarterbacks early is what? You're taking the chance on your guy that you believe in. If Brad Holmes, if he just slipped me a message under the table and said, I love ... Will Levis, I think the Lions should move heaven and earth to get him. Just my belief. If that's who they identify. And it could be the same for Richardson. Hell, I even gave you this argument on Malik Willis last year. I told you, if the staff believes this is the guy, they should do everything to get him. I think it's fucking stupid, but that's what they should do if that's their guy. That's why there's no such thing as overvaluing the quarterback position, because when you hit, you're set for a decade plus. That's why it's never a bad idea or bad decision. But moving on, Jeff, continue your thoughts on this pick, the player, and what the Lions could, should, or shouldn't do.
And again, to kind of recap, it has nothing to do with the guys or the upside of a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson. I don't want to find out the unknown. I don't think the Lions are in a situation where Jared Goff's the clear issue. He's not. He's actually the opposite.
He's a strength right now.
Yes, he is. And that's my problem, too, because let's say you drafted Anthony Richardson, okay? You finish up the draft, you target all defensive players, you let Anthony Richardson sit. Let's say next season the Lions win a playoff game or two and they lose. They make a little playoff run. Let's say the following season they get back to the playoffs and they're making progress. Now you want to move on to Anthony Richardson? You want to move on to Anthony Richardson. Not now. It's not a knock on him, but let's be honest here. We don't know what Anthony Richardson is. I know what Goff is. And if you want to say, well, Goff's not good enough to win a Super Bowl, we're not even in that conversation yet. We just want to get there, or at least win a playoff game. So, again, as of right now, I know what Goff is. I don't think Goff's in a position where he had a bad year to have to replace him. You got to fix this defense. The 49ers had a complete team when they took Trey Lance. The Lions don't have a complete team. They have a good offense. Defense needs a lot of work. I'm sorry. I can see why you'd say I wouldn't have an issue if Brad Holmes took a quarterback, and I get what you're saying. But I think I'd be a little skeptical. I would.
I just defend the concept of it.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not defending the player. I'm not. Big difference. But I could make the argument. Even last year, I sat up here and I laughed at everybody. And I said the Malik Willis talk is a joke. Having said that, if that's who this organization identifies as their guy, what should they do, Jeff? Get him at 2. Even if I don't agree with it. Why? It's their guy. If you're a GM and you fall in love with a quarterback, you do whatever the hell it takes. You know what the Chiefs did when they fell in love with Mahomes? They moved up. I want to say it was from 18 or 20. I don't recall the exact pick. But they moved up to 10. And they took him. And they didn't let him fall another pick.
Yeah, they jumped the Saints who wanted him.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You have your guy, you go get him. You fall in love, you go get him. That's my philosophy. Even if you're wrong, and most GMs are wrong on the quarterback, welcome to the NFL, man. It's hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not. It just isn't.
Yeah.
And what better situation for a young quarterback than the Lions with young wide receivers, a very good offensive line, a stable run game, a brilliant offensive coordinator? I could make the case. I wouldn't do it. I want defense. I want to turn this defense around so you can start winning games, winning a division, winning a playoff game.
Which Goff can do.
It's
been proven.
Especially in this NFC right now. And could you trade up next year or the year? I don't want to do the hypothetical stuff. But I think we all agree. Top 5 offense, 30th ranked defense. Where's your priority this offseason?
Defense.
That's where I'm at.
That's where I'm at as well. I'm not. I can get why people would want to make the argument, but I just can't agree with it. I really can't. If I'm Brad Holmes, you're fixing this defense and you're going out and trying to make a playoff run. I'm not concerned about Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Those guys can be good players, but I know what Goff is. He had a damn good year. I mean, he's a top 10 quarterback. So That's not what the Lions need to be focused on. I love that Brad said that, by the way, because it gives him a lot of leverage. If you say, well, we wouldn't mind taking a quarterback. He is playing mind games with general managers behind him. I mean,
well, yeah,
it's a great pitch, whether he believes it or not. I'm sure he does believe it. I think he believes it.
Does it pass common test rules?
Yes, it makes sense. I mean, we're seeing it done more and more in the NFL, but doesn't mean they will do that. Not at all. We'll see what Brad Holmes does.
If I were to put my money on it from now, I don't think they do. I don't think they draft a backup, at least in the first round, that's for sure. Now, do they go out and sign a backup before free agency period or before the draft? I don't think they would do that. That would be Chase Daniels 2.0 when he could have traded back with the Dolphins. But I don't even want to acknowledge that draft.
Right.
That's the draft you went and took Jeff Okudah. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk about the AFC and NFC divisional rounds. We'll give our predictions, our thoughts on the games coming up next, and then we'll get to Mailbag at 9:50. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Let me tell you about them, guys. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance because it is time for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage, and along with that, give them a shot because you won't be disappointed. Contact them, mark@swissins.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Let me tell you about our friends at Alta, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Here is your 15-second update on the Detroit Pistons. ... They fucking suck. ...
They played in Paris yesterday.
And they fucking sucked.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
All right, moving on.
I was hoping Killian Hayes would do well.
AFC Divisional Round and the NFC Divisional Round. Jeff, let's start with the Giants and Eagles. Your team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me a game score prediction. How does this game play out?
Oh, I'm going to go with the Eagles, but I think this is one of those games that I think will come down to the fourth quarter. Maybe Daniel Jones throws a crucial interception. He hasn't turned the ball over, but I just think their wide receivers the Giants have, Isaiah Hutchinson, Richie James, Slayton, these guys are serviceable, but when you face a Viking secondary that's that bad, it makes sense that they had the game they had. Hutchinson had a hell of a game, but now you're facing an Eagles secondary, a secondary that has proven veterans, Slay, Bradbury, Gardner Johnson. They got talent all over on this defense. I think this is where the Giants' run comes to an end, but I do think they're in this game to the fourth quarter. Give me the Eagles. Give me by, if I had to give a score prediction, I'll say 31-21. Give me the Eagles.
Ooh, okay, 10 points.
Yeah.
Similar to me. I think the Giants play close in the first half and the Eagles run away late. Give me the Eagles 34-23. They beat the Giants and they go to the NFC Championship game. Cowboys-Niners.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with this one. To me, this is free money. The Cowboys are losing and they're not covering. They're not losing by a field goal. Give me the Niners. Give me alternate. I think the Niners can win by double digits. I think they're overwhelming on defense. Christian McCaffrey, since he came to San Francisco, they are 11-0. I don't think that run is stopping against the Dallas Cowboys while the Niners are at home. Give me the Niners to win big. 38-17. Dak Prescott has one of his worst games.
This is where we're going to disagree. I don't have the Cowboys. I'm not going to put my everything on the table for the Cowboys. I have no faith in them. But this game is interesting because if the Cowboys with Dak in the lineup, they were one of the high-scoring offenses. Now, he threw a ton of interceptions, but they still had a winning record during that stretch of games. So I think they could still win with Dak not playing at his best. But this 49ers defense is a different animal. I think there's going to be a little bit of humble pie for Dak Prescott. I think he'll have a decent game. I don't think he completely, throws this thing away single-handedly. But I'm with you. I'm going to go with the 49ers here, but I think it'll be close. I think the Cowboys stay in this ball game. I really do. And I know it sounds crazy because I never have faith in the Cowboys. But Brock Purdy, this is the question I have for Brock, and we're going to see what kind of game he has. But there's going to come a time where he's going to make mistakes. I mean, you can't be perfect all season. He's going to have a time where he makes a crucial mistake, whether fumbling or throwing an interception, whatever the case may be. And I think he has a couple of those moments in this Cowboys game. But I think the 49ers defense holds them, and they get away with a win. I'll say give me the 49ers 27-17. I'll say they win by 10 again.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to the AFC. I'm going to hold on the Jaguars-Chiefs because I have some interesting thoughts on that game. Let's go with the game of the weekend, probably. The Bengals and the Bills. Who you got?
Ooh, give me the Bengals here. Yeah, give me the Bengals here. When they played, when DeMar Hamlin went down, you saw that game was trending. I mean, Joe Burrow went right up the field and scored. I think that's going to be a similar scenario. They're going to Buffalo. Or no, this is on a neutral site, excuse me, right? This is in
Buffalo. The title game would have been at a neutral site.
Yes, this is what makes... never mind.
I know,
I have my
confusing.
opinions
It's
on
okay.
that. But regardless of where it's played, it can be played in the backyard. I don't care. The YMCA, give me the Bengals, man. I think Joe Burrow, this team is poised to make another run. I think Josh Allen's, his turnovers, they're going to catch up to him.
That hurts me.
Yeah, his turnovers are going to catch up to him eventually. And they don't have Vaughn. The defense is okay. It's been solid. But after what I saw against Skylar Thompson, man, give me the Bengals.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yep.
I think the Bills have a secret weapon that nobody's taken into consideration. You know, a big thing I believe in with sports is sometimes there are things that happen that you can't explain. Almost fictional. A storyline, a fictional story that you really can't even script.
Yeah.
Remember the Ray Lewis Super Bowl, his final year, Joe Flacco, all the things they had to do to get to that Super Bowl and win it? To me, I get that vibe. The DeMar Hamlin situation, I think, is a boost for this Buffalo Bills team. I think they unify, and I actually have them winning this game by a comfortable margin. I do think the Bengals, with, 3 injured offensive linemen?
That's my concern.
They're not going to be able to run the ball effectively against Buffalo. Yes, Joe Burrow has all the weapons in the world, but I like the Bills here. Give me the Bills 27-23. I think it's a real comfortable game for the Bills for the most part. I think the Bengals score late and make it close, but give me 27-23. I got the Bills going to the title game.
Man, it's going to be a hell of a game.
All
I'll say Bengals. I'll say Bengals 27-24. I'll say a 3-point game. Give me the Bengals by a slight margin. But that offensive line, that's the key. That really is. We'll see.
Well, Jaguars, Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from now. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game, and I really hate to say it. I don't want to pick them. I really don't.
Right.
But what realistic chance does Doug Peterson have against his former mentor with a young Jags team? Like, they are there, and they should be so proud of themselves. Division winners, won a playoff game, epic comeback. It's all great. But do they really have enough to beat the Chiefs? I really want to pick the Jags on the upset, but I can't. So I'm going to give the Chiefs to walk away with it barely. 30-28. Give me the Chiefs. They barely make it out on a last-second field goal to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And this ain't in Jacksonville. This is in cold Kansas City. And it's going to be a little bit of an awakening. I think the experience is going to come into play. I think that matters. I mean, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they got the whole game.
4 straight title games.
Yes, they've been there. It's kind of like what I always say with the Golden State Warriors with the NBA. Like, some of these teams, when you know how to win, it just becomes effortless. I think the Chiefs are going to have more answers for the Jaguars. This is a new environment for them. I think Doug Peterson, more than experienced, obviously, but it's hard when a coach, how do you instill that message and get these guys ready to play? And when they have rookies starting everywhere and second-year guys, it's tough.
I think the Jags come out flying.
Yeah, and they played them close early in the year.
But the experience of the Chiefs wins late.
Big stage.
They just make that extra play or two, and they don't make that 1 or 2 penalties that will win them this game.
Yeah. And hey, technically they're my Super Bowl champs. So give me the Chiefs winning this game. They advance.
Well, I got.
And I'll say they win big.
I'll tell you from now. I think they'll lose to the Bills, but that's a whole different conversation for another week.
We get there when we get there. How
We'll
about
get
that?
there when we get there. I don't mind it. Jacksonville is overrated. They only won the division because Tannehill got hurt. Their pass defense is trash.
I mean, I don't think his argument about Tannehill is too far off because the Titans had the division pretty much locked up, and then they, the stretch of games to end the season. Now you had the Jaguars jump up and win it, so that's fair. But still, Trevor Lawrence to me is that X factor. Like he's so special, and I know he threw 4 interceptions, but the way he was able to bounce back from that, hit a near perfect second half. He's a bad man, and they got weapons, so we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, I think the Chiefs, just that experience is going to come into play. Patrick Mahomes, MVP. Think he makes a Super Bowl. Think he wins it this year. Give me the Chiefs to win. I'll say whatever the point differential is, whatever the spread is, Chiefs cover it. I think they win. They take care of business against the Jags.
All right, fair enough. Let's take a break. When we get back, mailbag time. Start getting your questions in the chat. Jeff and I will answer them. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness, home of the Judgment-Free Zone. Sign up today, $10 a month. Visit a local Planet Fitness near you, or sign up today by visiting them at planetfitness.com. Again, your fitness is essential. We'll be right back with Mailbag.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Bedrock Detroit brings you the Monroe Street Midway all winter long. Shop, eat, and play downtown. Winter bumper cars, puck putt, you name it, they've got it. It's a fun event. Take the family, take the kids, and have a good time. Check them out. Bedrock Detroit brings you the Monroe Street Midway all winter long. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Mailbag time. Bob's Big Boy asks, where would you have the Lions in the current NFC Power Rankings list? I would have them at 3 or 4, only behind Philly, San Francisco, and maybe Dallas. Jeff, I'll let you start this
I think that's fair, actually. I'm with you, Bob. I think if you want to go Philly, San Francisco, Dallas, after that, I mean, technically the Vikings are in that conversation, but I think the Lions are better than the Vikings. So I'm with you. I agree. I think that's a fair list.
All right. I would agree as well. I think the NFC North next year is for the Lions to take. I'm not worried about the Bears. I'm not worried about the Packers. The Vikings, look, they are a good team, a talented team. I like Kevin O'Connell a lot. What they do to fix their defense, I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot of wizardry from the GM. The cap space isn't the most friendly situation, but they'll figure it out. We'll see. I think it's theirs for the taking. Mailbag, what teams will be the biggest threats to the Lions in the playoffs next year? I think it's 3 teams. I do think it's Dallas, and I would even say they're a threat, but I got to respect the talent they do have. Philly and San Francisco. Those are the 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else you're worried about? I wouldn't think so.
No, not really.
I wouldn't mind playing Tampa Bay on the road next year.
Yeah, or the Giants.
Or I wouldn't mind hosting them.
Or the Vikings. I mean, I'm with you. I saw a question, too. I think it was Dante who asked it. Mailbag, if Justin Jefferson wants out of Minnesota, where do you think he goes? That's actually the conversation I think is going to be more public as the offseason goes. They're negotiating right now with Justin Jefferson. He's going to want top-tier money, rightfully so. He's a damn good receiver. I'm curious how Minnesota handles that. I don't know if he'll want out. I don't want to do the, I don't want to be skeptical right now. I don't know the situation. But we'll see. If he wants out, it's great for Lions fans. What do we got?
All right, let's see what we got here. Mailbag. Is Jeff Okudah off the roster yet? Yazin, no, he is not. No, he is not. I think he's going to be around next year.
Jesus.
They don't have a choice, do they? They're paying him, what, $10 million?
Yeah, he's due $10 million next year.
All right. Mailbag. Adam, do you think my parlay of the Bengals Niners to win their conference at plus 1,300 lives for another week? Damn, Jesse. I don't want to count you out. The Bengals are talented, but, man, I think the Bills offer too much for them. I do. Not worried about the Niners, but the Bengals, that one hurts a little bit.
Have you seen and Mitch asked this, Mailbag, would you be storing your money in the same bank as Usain Bolt? How fast you think they ran with his $12 million? Did you see that?
No.
So apparently Usain put his money, $12 million, in like a firm in Jamaica. I don't know the specifics of it. Now like it's all gone. It's like an investment firm or something like that. And now it's all gone, and all he has left is like $12,000. And like people are like, I don't know what happened to it. So like the man just lost like $12 million, just boof in thin air.
Oh my god.
It's like those emails. It's like
horrible.
Yeah, I know, it's so bad.
Oh man, Usain, where's the financial advisor?
I know,
bro.
I know.
How do you let that happen, man?
So bad.
What else we got? Jesus Christ, that is horrible. I feel so bad. Why does it look like Adam's wearing a kid's face muscle Spider-Man shirt? What the hell is
kid's
that?
What? What do you say?
Kid face Spider-Man muscle shirt.
Yeah, you don't know what that is? Of course you.
I don't.
I think that. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
All right, moving on. I tried. What's more likely to happen if you don't draft defense? Sucks. Next. Wait, what? Patty, confusing me, buddy. What's more likely to if you don't draft defense? Defense sucks or golf sucks? Defense sucks if you don't draft defense.
There you go.
I think it's pretty straightforward. Brandon Katz says the Vikings will win the defense or division next year. They will upgrade the defense. And Adam Thielen is washed up. He will be replaced so teams can't double Justin Jefferson the way the Giants did in the playoffs. There's a lot of problems in Minnesota, Brandon. There are. I think 11-0 is an anomaly. If they play in 6 or 7 one-possession games next year, I would put my money on them being 500 or having a losing record. It's just so hard to repeat, man. It just is. I think the Vikings are a 10-win team next year at the worst. But can the Lions win 11? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Usain's net worth is $90 million. Yeah, but net worth isn't actual money, though, correct?
Right.
Yeah. I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Would you pick up 2 corners in the first round or to replace Okudah and Awarie? I wouldn't pick up 2 in the first round, no. I would for sure get 1, though.
Yeah. I think there's going to be corners available in the second round that you'll still be in love with.
Even then, I don't trust Ringo, by the way, at 6. I hate that pick. But I think the biggest problem I have is you need a veteran corner out there. A guy that can just contribute and give you some leadership, some stability, communication on that secondary. Yes, Tracy Walker will be coming back next year, but you want it at the corner position. You just do. Let's see. What else we got here? Could Tannehill be off on the line? No.
I think Goff is better than Tannehill. So
What comes first in the draft for Detroit? A running back or a quarterback? If I had to bet my money, I say the Lions don't touch a running back until the 5th round. I don't think they go Beydoun in the 1st. I don't think they put it on the 2nd. I think they'd rather draft an offensive lineman and a ton of defense before they go running back.
Yeah. Wouldn't have a problem with that.
All right, what else we got here?
Brandon says the Lions' ceiling with Goff is winning 9 to 10 games and winning 1 playoff game. They should bring in a better quarterback while they still have a good young offensive line.
So that's what confuses me, Brandon. With the 30th ranked defense, they won 9 games. If I told you they're top 20 in defense next year, they only win 1 more game? Because that's what you're telling me. So I'm a bit confused.
In 1 playoff game, I mean, it's 1 more than you've won in 30 years. So
It's
I think
tied
that's
for the most you've had in franchise history.
pretty
but
good.
You're not trying to set yourself up to compare yourself to your shit history.
No,
You're
it's
trying
not.
To
You want to go farther.
above and beyond.
Yeah.
So
And I think Goff can do that.
I think to his point at least. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. It was historically weak, and I think it's weak next year. Carolina's going to have a rookie quarterback. Tampa Bay, we don't know what's going to happen with their quarterback. We don't know what's happening in Green Bay. Chicago has Justin Fields. I'm not too worried about that. Jameis Winston in New Orleans, they're going to want a quarterback. You look at Stafford and the Rams, they're not going to be a contender next year. Kyler Murray with a new head coach, good luck. I don't like him. I just don't. And when his legs are gone, what is he as a passer? He's meh. He's meh. Now, when he moves out of the pocket and he throws, he's phenomenal. But dropping back is not his thing. I'm not concerned. Geno Smith, I'm not concerned. It's a lot to look forward to if you're a Lions fan next year. Just is. I'm a huge golf guy, but I wouldn't mind taking Spencer Rattler. Isn't he coming back?
I think he is, yeah.
I think Spencer Rattler's coming back, by the way.
He's coming back for more season.
Would you be disappointed if next year the Lions win less than 11 games and don't win the division? It depends.
Yeah.
Jacob, if they go 10-7 and miss out by 1 game in the division, I wouldn't be disappointed. They would be a playoff team, and they would have shown their ability to contend. Now, would that put the pressure on to win the division in year 4? Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, tough for me to say disappointed. It depends on the context of the season. It really does.
Jesse asked, do you guys have any favorite prop bets this weekend? Do you have anything you're eyeing?
I'm not betting this weekend.
You are not?
I am not.
Second question, he asked, what's your favorite game day food?
That's a lie.
I didn't bet last weekend either.
See, Adam's been staying away from it.
I'm trying to catch up on some rest.
Second question, Fish, you can answer this too. Favorite game day food for the playoffs? What are you chomping on?
I'm going
Lunchables.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Fish
wings and
Lunchables.
pizza.
Wait, what?
I don't chomp that during the playoffs.
You eating some Lunchables during the playoffs?
No.
What are you eating?
Pizza, wings, chips and salsa, chips and nacho cheese.
Good man.
Those are like the favorites. Maybe some pretzels.
Good
How do you
man.
not?
Good
The
man.
crunchy and the soft ones. You can go with both.
All right, can we get our Australian Open update while you're still here?
Sure. Sakari lost. Sebastian Korda won. He beat Medvedev. That's a big win. Yannick Sinner from Italy, he won. Madison Keys, the American, lost. Victoria Azarenka. Let's see. There's just so many upsets, by the way, in the Australian Open. Probably the best tournament, maybe not in all of sports, but it's probably top 5 just in terms of upsets because it's 2 weeks into the tennis season, so some people are in form. Some people want to rest because they've been playing for 9 months since, from January to November. So your guy Djokovic is still in it.
How do you not?
So he might win it because Nadal lost to an American who got murdered yesterday.
That's right, America, motherfucker.
Yep.
Get fucked.
I know. Hey, America's been beating some great people. So American men's tennis is on the rise.
Appreciate it,
great.
Fish. Thank you for the update, buddy.
Thank you. Go America!
How do you not? All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining Jeff, myself, Fish, and Alex as always. We thank you so much. You all have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the NFL slate on Saturday and Sunday. Till Monday, for myself, Jeff Iafrate, we're out. Thank you so much. As always, drop a like on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. We're out of here. We'll see you Monday.
Go watch all the tennis and football your heart desires. How do you not?
Oh,